Hello everyone. Here in this module, we are going to see the last topic of topic differentiation. It's higher order derivatives. Higher order derivatives actually is the differentiation repeatedly. It is not different from the previous one what we have seen, but in all those cases we have done the differentiation of given function one time. Now, if the differentiation is done further after doing one time, if it is done 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and so on, according to the mentioned terms, then it's known as higher order derivatives. We will see with the help of equations that what we do. The concept actually is, suppose you are given a function y is equal to x to the power 4. If I differentiate this, differentiating with respect to x, I will find dy by dx, and by the properties of differentiation we know this will become 4x cubed. If I differentiate this again, differentiating with respect to x again, so what does it mean? We have to write d by dx of dy by dx, and right hand side also d by dx of the obtained function 4x cubed. Now this d by dx of dy by dx is written as this shows it is expressed as d square y by dx square. It shows that we are doing the second time differentiation, and here this will remain as it is, the procedure will remain as it is, no change. 4x cube is to be done, so what we will do, 4 and x cube when differentiated, it becomes 3x square. So second time differentiation becomes 12x square. We can do one more time. If I differentiate again with respect to x, so this again will be d by dx of d square y by dx square and d by dx of 12x square. Now this time, this is a third time, so we write d cube of y by dx cube, and the function right hand side is differentiated as 12x square, differentiation becomes 2x. So finally we get 24x and so on. Okay. Now this is the repeated differentiation. Whatever is mentioned in the question according to we have to do. But the thing is, now onwards, let me tell you, if it is a one-time differentiation, the ways of expressing this differential coefficients are different. Like we can write dy by dx, we can write y dash, we can write this as y1 also. In some theory books you will find y1 also. Similarly, if it is d square y by dx square, so will be y double dash y2. If it is cube third time, this is y triple dash y3. This number only is known as the order of differentiation, that how many times are we doing. So this way we can say it is dny by dxn. Actually this will be dash n times, okay, and y n we can say. So this is the higher order of derivatives we have to see. So few examples we will take to understand the concept. For the beginning, I have taken one equation to find the second order derivatives of each of these 5 sample equations I have taken, and these are different functions we can see. Now we will start with first one. How to express whatever function is given, consider that to be y, x plus sin x we take, and obviously we need to differentiate with respect to x. Mention here we are doing. So this will become dy by dx. According to your convenience, you can put y dash y1 also, no objection. Now first term when differentiated, this will turn 1. plus sin x we convert as cos x. And as we need second order, means one more time we have to do. So differentiating with respect to x, what I see, this will be d by dx or dy by dx, so you can directly write d square y by dx square. Now when I do the first term, by rules d by dx will go in each term. When I do the first term, this will be d by dx of 1 and d by dx of cos x. So first term, as I see, the constant becomes 0, cos x will become minus sin x. So finally we see it's minus sin x. Now one point is to be noticed here, what? There were two terms in the function, algebraic and trigonometric. You could see that if I say second order derivative, I mean this is a simple algebraic function. So finally this got to be 0. But trigonometric function, as you see, this is continuously, mainly sine cos. As we know that differentiation of sine is cos, cos differentiation is minus sine. So they are converting nothing else, sine to cos. Okay, this becomes sine to cos and cos to sine once again. If I move ahead with more times of differentiation, so this again sine will become cos and the procedure will continue. It shows that few functions are such that doesn't matter that how many times being differentiated, but they will never end. They will continue. Okay, but few functions are there which after a particular number of times of differentiation they disappear. They turn 0. Okay, so this is a small observation. Now this was first example. We will go with the second one. Second one completely is given in algebraic form, 4x cubed plus x plus 7. This also we consider as y, 4x cubed plus x plus 7. Here, if I differentiate with respect to x, then I see it is dy by dx. Now, I am expecting that so far you have understood how to do it directly. Each term separately we can do. This will become 4, 3s are 12 x square plus x will 1 and 7 is constant alone, so will turn 0. So this is 12 x square plus 1. Now, as we need second order, so differentiating once again with respect to x, so we get d square y by dx square to be 12 2s are 24x and this second term will be 0. So finally we get 24x. So I hope these two questions are clear to you. We will move to the third question for sample, which is we can see an inverse trigonometric function. Now for third function, if I take this to be y, so by rules differentiating with respect to x, we will find dy by dx is tan inverse x is the basic function. This will become 1 upon 1 plus x square. We have obtained. Now as soon as I differentiate, this converts in algebraic form, you see. Now if I differentiate with respect to x, so d square y by dx square, by rules, what will you do? If you can do directly, then okay. Otherwise, you can write d by dx of, this can be written as 1 plus x square raised to the power minus 1. First of all, we will do like that. More options are there. You can take it as 1 upon x type, or you can take it in the quotient rule also. You can apply quotient rule, so depends on your choice. Here we go. This minus 1 as being exponent, first of all, will be brought down, and 1 plus x square raised to the power minus 1 here. By chain rule, this will become d by dx of 1 plus x square. We have done power first, so this becomes minus, this will become minus 2. So 1 upon 1 plus x square, it converts whole square into 1 plus x square. So here we get 0 as being constant and x square becomes 2x. So finally we have minus 2x upon 1 plus x square whole square. This is the second order. If more we have to do, suppose third order we have to do, in that case, Now we see that x is available in both cases, so compulsorily we have to apply quotient rule. One more option, product rule also can be done if it is taken in numerator. Okay. So with the next example we will go. This is the fourth one. If I take y is equal to x cube log x, you see we are given algebraic and logarithmic function, but in multiplication they are given. So that's why we will apply product rule to find its first order. To get first order differentiation, dy by dx, we have log x as it is, d by dx of x cube, then x cube as it is, d by dx of log x. Log x base is not given, it's e. Okay. Now here we get log x into x cube becomes 3x square. X cube in second term remains as it is, and log x will turn as 1 upon x. Solving, we get 3x square log x plus x cube divided by x, we get x square. This we get dy by dx. Still we are in some expanded form now. It was only product, now expanded form. So here differentiating again with respect to x, we get d square y by dx square. See, I have directly written d square y by dx square. This will be d by dx of the first term and d by dx of the second term. You see, separately we have to do. But we should not forget, here the product of x square log x is given, so product rule again will be applicable. Here it is a single term, we will operate like 3 log x into d by dx of x square plus x square d by dx of log x, and x square d by dx will be 2x. We go ahead, thrice log x into x square remains 2x. After differentiation, this will become x square into 1 upon x plus 2x. This cancellation will make it x only, so finally we get 3 2s are 6x log x plus 3x plus 2x, and these two like terms can be written as, after addition, 5x. So this is the final answer for second order derivative. Now we are left with the last equation of this kind, second order derivative we have to find, where we are given one exponential function, especially for e, and one trigonometric in product. Let's see for that. Now for this fifth question, we can see that exponential function and trigonometric function are given in product. So for sure, product rule will be applicable. Differentiating with respect to x, we get here dy by dx, so we can say y dash. First of all, e to the power 6x when differentiated, you can write here that in first term we are differentiating e to the power 6x, in second term we are differentiating cos 3x. We get 6 e to the power 6x cos 3x, and here as cos 3x will be minus, so here we can put minus 3 e to the power 6x cos 3x. Differentiation will make it sin 3x. Yes. But this is one time. We need second order, means 2 times we have to do. So once again, in each term, product rule is applicable. So what we can do? Differentiating once again with respect to x. I see it is y double dash. This can be written as 6. In first step, we can differentiate e to the power 6x. Will make it 6 e to the power 6x cos 3x, and in second term we can differentiate, and for your convenience I think I should write here that which one I am differentiating. We can write this way, cos 3x as it is, and I am doing differentiation of e to the power 6x in first, then e to the power 6x as it is, second I am doing differentiation of cos 3x by product rule. The same thing there also, minus 3 outside as a constant, sin 3x remains as it is, but differentiation of e to the power 6x with that, and plus e to the power 6x as it is, and d by dx of sin 3x. Careful. What we have obtained here, this will give us again 6 e to the power 6x. Y double dash, we will get 6 e to the power 6x cos 3x. Here cos 3x will give us minus 3 sin 3x. So this will be minus 3 e to the power 6x sin 3x. Subtraction of the second bracket with 3 outside. We have 6 e to the power 6x sin 3x, and there remains plus sign as we are differentiating sin 3 e to the power 6x cos 3x. I hope this much is understood to you. Now, the rest what we have to do, we have to open all the brackets and simplify the terms. We get y double dash as 6 6 are 36 e to the power 6x cos 3x, 6 3s are 18 e to the power 6x sin 3x. With the minus sign when we open, this will become minus 18 e to the power 6x sin 3x, and minus 9 e to the power 6x cos 3x. When we simplify the like terms, we get 27 e to the power 6x cos 3x, and here minus 36 e to the power 6x sin 3x. Common we can see, common factors are this 9 and e to the power 6x inside. We are left with 3 cos 3x minus 4 sin 3x. This way we complete the second order derivatives. We will see more questions to understand the concept better. The second question, I have taken one exponential function. In previous question we were having base e, so that was a bit convenient, a bit easier. But here I see this is x raised to the power x. For this you must have the knowledge of all types of differentiation in previous modules I have given. Let's start. We need y double dash, second order. How we do? Before we go ahead, as we know that whenever you are given such a function, this is single term. So y is equal to x to the power x being 1. We will take log of both sides. We will make it log of y and x log x. After this we will differentiate with respect to x. So by rules this will turn 1 upon y multiplied by dy by dx equal to, here product rule will be applicable, log x as it is multiplied by differentiation of x plus x as it is and differentiation of log x. What we see, dy by dx we have obtained as y comes right hand side. Here we will get 1 as the differentiation of x, so log x, and here we get x into 1 upon x. After cancellation we are left with dy by dx to be, value of y was given x to the power x and 1 plus log x. This is 2. This will be needed to us further. Why? We will see that. As we need the second order, y double dash. So we will write here differentiating with respect to x. Wherever equation is given and we are writing differentiating with respect to x, means we are differentiating both sides. Understood it is. Okay. Now here as we see, this is the function of x. This bracket also is function of x. So we need to apply product rule. So this second order will be equal to d square y by dx square or y double dash. This will be equal to 1 plus log x as it is and differentiation of x to the power x plus x to the power x remains as it is d by dx of 1 plus log x. But differentiation of x to the power x we have seen earlier. Okay, so this is the differentiation. You could see y was x to the power x. So this whole we will put directly. No need to show it as a separate function. So we will put here x to the power x and 1 plus log x. Here we can do this 1 will turn 0 and log x will be 1 upon x. Okay, this thing you can write here from 2. You can mention. Now, when I simplify, I find that it is x to the power x 1 plus log x whole square, and yes, this is x to the power x and x is dividing that, we can write by laws of exponential x to the power x minus 1. This way we can put the answer. Okay, so this is the second order what we require. We will see more information on that. In this one, it's different from the previous cases as we need here 4 times differentiation of the function. Means keep it repeatedly differentiating. Let's see. Simply we are talking about equation 1, the product of log x and x cube. So that's why product rule is applicable. So differentiating with respect to x, we see if I do 1 times so dy by dx, this will be, first of all, log x remains as it is into, when x cube is differentiated we get 3x square plus, second term x cube remains as it is and log x turns as 1 upon x. We simplify, we get 3x square log x and this is x square. Yeah, further for convenient steps we can take x square common. This will become 3 log x plus 1. Now writing this in form, we again differentiate as we need 4 times differentiating with respect to x, we will get second time. So d square y by dx square, once again by product rule x square and this bracket will be taken as the whole single function. So this bracket remains as it is into x square differentiated we get 2x plus, now x square remains as it is. In bracket when we go, 3 being multiplication remains as it is, log x will be done as 1 upon x and 1 being a single constant in the term turns 0. We have differentiated the bracket according to product rule. Okay, and once again we will simplify. So we get here multiplying 2x inside, 6x log x plus 2x, and from these after simplifying we are getting 3x. So finally we have 6x log x plus 5x. This was second order. Now third order, if I do differentiating with respect to x, once again we get d cube y by dx cube. This will be d cube y upon dx cube. Here I see this one, x is common. It will be better to take common so that we can easily differentiate by product rule. Now you see, when I third time differentiate, this x will turn 1 after differentiation. 6 log x plus 1 remains as it is plus. Now second term, x remains as it is, and in bracket when we go, this will be 6 into log x will be 1 upon x plus 0. 1 will be differentiated as a constant. So simplifying once again we get 6 log x plus 1, and here we have x to x cancelled out plus 6. So finally 6 log x plus 7. Now the last time, fourth order, differentiating with respect to x we get d4y by dx4. We have only one term of function, 6 log x, rest is constant. So this will be 6 into 1 upon x plus 0, and finally 6 upon x, which is the required result. So this way, whatever is mentioned according to question, we have to do. Okay, let's see the next question. The next question which I have taken here is a parametric function. The parametric form of function whenever given to us for differentiation of more than first order, then we have to be careful. Why? I'll tell you. Here, by the way, the question says y and x are given as a sec theta and b tan theta respectively. Show that d square y by dx square, the second order, is equal to a raised to the power 4 upon b square y cube. This you consider as first equation, and this is second. Now differentiating equation 1 and 2, obviously with respect to theta we have to do. Both are functions of parameter theta. So we find here dy by d theta, this is equal to a sec theta tan theta, as we require dy by dx first. Next, dx upon d theta, b sec square theta. Tan theta's differentiation would be sec square theta. Then obviously dy by dx is dy by d theta upon dx by d theta. By putting the values we get a sec theta tan theta upon b sec square theta. Sec cancels the power, and finally we have a upon b converting sin and cos. We are left with sin theta. Or you keep in mind tan by sec is sin, directly we can do. Now the term of second order. From this step we have to be careful. As we see that the value of dy by dx as we have obtained in term of parameter theta. So if I find d square y by dx square, by the rules of this d square y by dx square means d by dx of dy by dx. The value of dy by dx, if I put, I find this is in terms of theta. So by rules this must be 0. But since it is parametric function, so this will not be 0. What we have to do here, we have to differentiate this portion with respect to theta. As we know that x is a function of theta. So that's why if I were doing the differentiation with respect to x, this can never be 0. So what is the way to do this? We write d by d theta of this bracket. There is no change in the bracket. D by d theta and multiplied by d theta by dx. Why so? Here what we have done, this d by dx, the differential coefficient, is split up in two parts in terms of parameter. You see, I have multiplied by d theta, numerator and denominator both. One d theta was taken as a denominator with d, and other d theta numerator is taken with dx. Okay, so this way now differentiation of this term is possible. Okay, and d theta by dx we obtain from dx by d theta earlier done. This dx by d theta. As we need d theta by dx, so we write the reciprocal of this term. Okay, so here this differentiation will be a upon b as it is constant, sin theta becomes cos theta, and d theta by dx from here reciprocal inverse, we get 1 upon b sec square theta. But our target is to find in terms of a, b and y. So we see y is related to sec theta. So we can do one thing here. This will become a upon b square, cos is 1 upon sec, so this turns 1 upon sec cube theta. So that's why I put in the value of sec. From here we can see sec theta is equal to y upon a. So this will become a upon b square into 1 upon y upon a whole cube, and simplify we get a4 b square y cube. This way we have done what is required. So this was the first question in the module based on parametric function. That's why be careful whenever you are solving such questions. Next question we'll see now. Next question here is proof that 10. We have done them in earlier modules of a first derivative. Now we will see why it's given as algebraic function. Show that x square plus 1 y2. y2 I told earlier that this is second order derivative plus x y1 first order derivative minus m square y equal to 0. So we will not drop the method here. I told two methods, whether you deduce from directly the given function or simply we can obtain the values of y2, y1 and y all can be put and can simplify to get 0 in right hand side. Okay, so we will see according to the function. Here, first of all, we will differentiate. Two times we have to do. So differentiating with respect to x. We find y1 first power m x plus under root x square plus 1 to the power m minus 1 into by chain rule. Now differentiation of this bracket we do, x becomes 1, under root x square plus 1 will come like 1 by twice root x square plus 1, and x square plus 1 when differentiated this becomes 2x. 2 and 2 cancel out. Simplifying, we are having m x plus root x square plus 1 m minus 1 and LCM taken, we get root x square plus 1 plus x upon root x square plus 1. We can see that these two terms are similar, same bracket. So this is m minus 1 and in power it is 1. When simplified, we get m x plus root x square plus 1 raised to the power m upon root x square plus 1. Now this whole, this bracket is the value of y. We can utilize y because we have to move ahead. Okay, so this comes as the value of y1. This is 1. This can be taken as 2. As we need a more differentiation, we can write here y2, y1. This is equal to m y root x square plus 1. Now, as once again differentiation is needed, so here we can do the differentiation either directly, like I see it's told that this is y1, but we have to be careful. It's y1. Here right hand side m is the constant, y is a function of x, and in denominator also the function of x. So what we have to do? We have to apply a quotient rule. Okay, so differentiating with respect to x, once again we get y2, this is equal to, by quotient rule, keep m aside. Now the numerator if I do, this will become y1 and multiplied by root x square plus 1 as it is, no change, minus, next comes y as it is, and of root x square plus 1 twice under root x square plus 1 into 2x by chain rule, and in denominator square of the denominator we have to write. So square on this will eliminate the square root. So we have x square plus 1. Okay. Now we have to simplify this one as y2. This is equal to m. When I simplify, I find this 2 and 2 cancel out. This will be multiplied here. So this root x square plus 1 into root x square plus 1 again will eliminate the square root sign and the LCM will come down here. So we will find y1 x square plus 1 minus xy upon x square plus 1 root x square plus 1. Here I see we can deduce this also by putting the values fall, but still what we will do, we have obtained this y2, we have obtained y1 also. So by taking help of 1, 2 and a third equation, we will put the values in LHS and we will see what we obtain. Okay, so let's start here. If I take LHS, it is given x square plus 1 by 2 plus xy1 minus m square y. So if I put the value x square plus 1, this value of y2 I take. So I find it is m y1 x square plus 1 minus xy upon x square plus 1 under root x square plus 1. This is the value of y2 I have taken. Plus xy1 is needed. So here we will put xy1. And we have y1 as m x plus root x square plus 1 m divided by root x square plus 1. But one thing I find that this y1 can be represented in terms of y. So this value also can be utilized. Okay. Now further we have minus m square y. We can put here y also for convenience if needed, then later we can replace y by its original value in terms of y. Now after this much, we need to simplify. After this, here these two brackets cancel out. And what else we can do? We can write after this, as I see root x square plus 1 is in denominator of these and m is in multiplication. We can open this bracket as m by 1 root x square plus 1 upon root x square plus 1. Next term mxy root x square plus 1. I have separated this root x square plus 1 in both of the terms. Okay. Next plus mxy root x square plus 1 minus m square y. Actually, this term was the purpose. So this I have taken such a step. As these two are alike, opposite side obviously cancelled out. This was the purpose to separate them. Now what else we can do? As I see that this term I am having is m square y. Okay, m square y. So here this also I have to write in terms of y. So y1 its value can be taken as m into, in place of y1 I will write my upon root x square plus 1 x square plus 1 upon root x square plus 1 and minus m square y as it is. Obviously when this root x square plus 1 comes down with multiplication, so we are left with m square y these two cancel out, and finally we have m square y minus m square y being 0 and RHS. This was to prove. I said earlier, this is not the only method you can do. You can deduce also. Okay, if you can manipulate LHS, you can directly obtain the value required. Okay, or if you can manipulate this y2, then from here only you can get the answer. But depends, as I see is experienced, that generally students are convenient with this method. Okay, so in case of such a proof that pattern, we have to be careful. We'll take more equations to understand. Now this I am taking as the last question of this module. Here we are given the function in terms of y in terms of e, exponential function, and we need to prove this one by double dash second order derivative minus m plus n in bracket y dash first order plus mly equal to 0. This e raised to the power x exponential function, basically for e I am speaking. This also keeps repeating, as we know that differentiation of e raised to the power x remains e to the power x. So just like sin and cos case, this also will keep repeating. That's why we have to be careful. So let's start. Our purpose is second order derivative. Here differentiating with respect to x, I find y dash. This is a as it is. e to the power mx differentiated, we get m e to the power mx plus b, here e to the power nx is given, so n e to the power nx. One time is over. This may require to us to put in that equation, that's why we give it 2. Now differentiating with respect to x, once again we find y double dash, but as we see the pattern is not changed, this is expanded form as it is, so term by term we can do. So this a and m constants are there, and e to the power mx once again differentiated, so this will become m square e to the power mx plus this terms b n square e to the power nx. This is 3. Now as I see that we need y double dash, y dash and y to put in LHS. So from 1 to 3 we can put those values in LHS. We require y double dash first. So its value we will put am square e to the power mx plus bn square e to the power nx minus m plus n y dash. Y dash we have opted as am e to the power mx plus bn e to the power nx and plus m and y. As I see that all the terms are written in terms of this e raised to the power mx or nx, so the same thing we are going to do with y also. Replace y by the value given a e to the power mx plus b e to the power nx. This way we can do. Now opening the brackets we will simplify. First one remains as it is. This m multiplied, so we get minus a m square e to the power mx plus b mn e to the power nx. Now this with minus sign n will be multiplied, so minus a mn e to the power mx minus bn square e to the power nx. Further, this mn will be multiplied to the bracket, we get a mn e to the power mx plus bmn e to the power nx. Now you can see all the terms we are having positive, negative parts, like am square e to the power mx can be cancelled out with this term. They are like but opposite sign, the same. bn square enx. So here also we are having negative. Now b mn e to the power nx, the last one, that is, we can see here a to the power mn ex and a to the power mn ex cancelled out, and here the sign, this is minus sign, you see minus n I multiplied, so yes, these also can be cancelled out. We are finally left with 0, the RHS. So whenever you are given based on exponential function e, so this type of steps should be followed. Okay, I hope so far you have understood and all these things are clear. So this is means higher order derivatives